And I am a Fatboy. Yep, it's now been a week since my birthday. A week into the year 48. How does that feel? Well, it means I'm inching that much closer to the magic number 50. And, I should start planning what I'm going to do when I hit 50 years. It has to be the most momentous occasion, don't you agree? I mean, half a century, a silver jubilee. Surely that is not to be taken lightly. So I better start making plans now, saving money if need be, in case my plan is to travel when I hit 50. We'll see about that. But it is important to start thinking about it right now. At least that's what I believe. It is also important to think about the things affecting the country, and that's what we like to do here on the Fatboy Show. We're going to be talking about what's going on with the president, who, as you know, has recently recovered from COVID-19. And now it's emerging that Statehouse staff are currently under quarantine, and this quarantine is going to last for 14 days. The president on Friday issued directives for mandatory quarantine for all Statehouse staff with immediate effect as one of the COVID prevention measures. Well, this is quite interesting. I feel like we hopped on to a time machine and, we went back 2 years. COVID all over again. I thought we were done with it. From the look of things, it's just going to be one of those perennial things that'll just keep popping up every now and then, here to stay with us forever and ever, which is kind of what we were saying, the rational people, right at the start of the pandemic. We just kept saying, hey, it's a seasonal influenza. You can't shut the country down on account of, an influenza, COVID being one such thing. The idea is to protect the most vulnerable ones and encourage people to find ways of fortifying their immunity, such as by consuming vitamin D and all other minerals, zinc, and so forth, so that should they be exposed to COVID, they stand a much better chance of being protected against it or of fighting it off. And then there's people who went ahead and got, well, we know that the president was a number of times, and yet their man was in isolation because of COVID, and now the staff of Statehouse are also under quarantine because of a COVID scare. But wait a minute, I thought getting it was supposed to render all of that unnecessary. I thought when you get it, you're supposed to have protection such that you protect yourself against infection and serious illness, and can also not transmit it to others. They kept moving the goalposts, didn't they? Day after day, they kept changing the goalposts to where it wouldn't even seem like the were all that effective if all of Statehouse has to be quarantined, because I would have to guess that everyone there was last year as a requirement. But that's what you're going to get. We'll be looking into the details of that quarantine going down at the Statehouse ahead on the Fatboy Show. Also on the Fatboy Show, good news. We were worried for a minute. We thought that the international community were going to impose sanctions on us and withhold aid on account of us passing the Anti-Homosexuality bill, and for the president having assented to it and making it law. Well, the IMF has approved the immediate disbursement of $120 million to Uganda under its extended credit facility. So I've been seeing our LGBT activists, both based here and those in the diaspora, Frank Mugisha and all the rest of them, essentially cheering on these international institutions, begging them to punish this country for passing the bill by restricting access to this kind of aid. Now, for whatever reason, the IMF has continued to release that money, and now we're going to get $120 million. So was all that activism for naught? Has it yielded nothing? Or at least economically, the country seems to be facing no impact. So maybe all that noise was for, really, it served no purpose except to render themselves more relevant. I saw that Sexual Minorities of Uganda received an award for the Paris LGBT something. So our gay activist community, they're getting their props and recognition in international circles. And if that's why they're making all this noise, number one, I can understand that. Look, we're all hustlers, and if that's their hustle, hey, I can't knock you for that. But it's all mostly just performative, all of their outrage, and so nothing's really changed. And now that the dust has settled and the outrage has cooled, everyone's kind of just getting on with life. So to the activists, they say, well, thanks for nothing. And to the government, I say, please don't squander this money. But of course, we know you're going to. I don't know what this money is specifically targeted for. Ahead on the show, I'll probably have Olive explain to us what this $120 million that the IMF is releasing to us is meant to be for. So we'll be looking at that too. Wow, so many cool, interesting conversations that we'll be having here on the Fatboy Show. So do stick around for that.